Workout number 1 is going to start off by playing a root position triad and then play all of its inversions in a vertical area. We'll generally be in the 5th position, but we're going to have to stretch a little bit down to the 3rd position because that's just the way the chord tones are going to pan themselves out. And, you know, that's the way it goes. So that's going to happen throughout all of the workouts here. We'll generally be in the 5th position, but we're going to have to make some adjustments. But let's take a look at some of the fingering things you'll have to watch out for. So with major, as we're looking at in the overview, it's going to go like this. You're going to start out with a root position C chord, and then you're going to go to its first inversion. You can think of this as the lowest note just gets thrown up an octave, and that's what's going to keep happening over and over again. So from the root position to the first inversion, you have that move. Now, when you go from first inversion to second inversion, there's really not much you have to do. Your first finger is already positioned there. You're good. When you go to the next chord, which is going to be the root position, triad once more, it's a total refingering. There's really no easy way to get out of that. Then you come back down. That second inversion triad flows nicely into first inversion, and that flows real nice into root position. So sometimes it flows really, really well, and sometimes it's not gonna. One thing to keep in mind as you do all of these, whatever you start with, that's what you will play on the top. So if you're starting out with a root position triad, that's what you're going to see on the top string set. Okay, when you're playing minor, which is going to be a flat third, wherever that third ends up within all these chords. In this case, it's going to start out as the middle note with a root position formula of 1, flat 3, 5. You'll flow nicely into a first inversion, C minor, that has the E flat on the bottom right there. Now, when you get to the second inversion chord, you'll probably see me play it like this just because that's what I prefer to do. But you could play it like this. Now, if you do that, watch this. It's a nice change to the root position C minor on the top. You want to look for these advantages as you play triads like this. So going across the neck, when I get to second inversion, you might want to try it like this, and then boom. What an easy shift it is from second inversion C minor to root position and back. And you know what? This fingering is really set up nicely to do this. To go back to first inversion C minor. So, like I said, you'll probably see me play it like this, but to make it easier on you, I would do it like this. See how nicely they flow? All right, for diminished, when you add the flat 5th to your 1, flat 3 formula, you're going to have that big stretch that you were working on in level 1. You'll come over to here for the first inversion, and then look, you flow right into second inversion, like that with a bar. If you want, you could pick it up and play it like this, and the advantage to that is, watch how easily you can shift over to root position C diminished. Nice. And then come right back. Then you'll have to refinger for the first inversion C diminished, and then slightly refinger for the root position. When it comes to the augmented chords, you'll notice that because augmented is symmetrical, you'll always have the same flow. It's always going to be the same thing. The fingerings will always be this. You'll have this diagonal line of major thirds, which will be the same chord, just shifted back a half step on the next adjacent string set, like that. Then fold over with a bar for that inversion. Nice, easy change. And then when you come up to here, you'll see me do this. But you could just as easily play this fingering too, which flows nicely into that fingering. So that's your call as to what you want to do with augmented triads. So I'll be using my hybrid picking technique. You can go for it. I suggest that you do. Or you can strum through them. But the focus here is the shapes. We want to learn the shapes. I want you to have these cold. I want you to know them and get them to the point where they're unconscious. You never want to have a hole in any one of these concepts. You don't want to be really strong with first root position chords and then be a little weak on first inversion, or be really good at major and okay at diminished. That's a big reason why level 2 is doing what it's doing. It's shifting things around and giving you an opportunity to come from a different direction, but in an equal manner. So you're learning all of these chords equally. You're learning all of their variations equally, because all of them are great sounds and all useful in music. So when you're ready, we're going to go over to 50 beats per minute and get started for our 3-minute drills.